លោកអ្នកតើបានតាមដានទស្សនានៅវីដេអូឃ្លីបខ្លីចាដែលបញ្យល់ប្រាប់ថាតើអ្វីទៅជាដំណាំល្ហុងខ្វងនេះហើយនាងខ្ញុំសង្ឃឹមថាលោកអ្នកបានឃើញរូបមកហើយនៅដំណាំនេះតើមានរូបរាងយ៉ាងណាហើយក៏បានជួបជាមួយនឹងអ្នកដែលធ្លាប់ដាំល្ហុងខ្វងនេះនៅប្រទេសកម្ពុជាផងដែរឥឡូវនេះដើម្បីឲ្យយើងនឹងបានយល់កាន់តែច្បាស់ថែមទៅទៀតថាតើដំណាំល្ហុងខ្វងនេះជាអ្វីហើយតើវាងាយស្រួលដាំប៉ុណ្ណានិងអត្ថប្រយោជន៍ផងដែរនោះចាសូមជួបជាមួយនឹងលោក George ទាំងអស់គ្នាចា Hi George, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good too. Welcome to the program.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Sure. So first off, we just want to know what is castor beans? What is this plant?
Well, castor bean has been around for a long time. It started, its origin is in Africa. So this bean can grow almost anywhere. People have been using castor bean for a long time. You know, they have about 700 different uses. But only in the last 2 or 3 years, castor beans becoming very, very big because a lot of people find out you can make a lot of money by planting castor bean.
So what is the benefit? I think like you mentioned and in the video clip it says that castor bean contain oil. So besides giving oil, what else is the benefit of the castor bean?
Well, let's stay with oil for a second. Castor oil has a very unique characteristic, and that is in the very, very hot temperature, it will not melt. Okay? And in very, very cold temperature, it will not freeze. So you know an airplane, when it flies, before it flies, the engine gets very, very hot. And then after it flies, gets very high in the sky, it becomes very cold.
Right.
There are parts in the engine. It's made out of castor bean material. So when it gets to 200 or 300 degrees, most plastic will just melt.
Right.
But if it's made out of castor bean, it will not.
Really?
And then when it gets to very cold and very high altitude, it will not crack because it's so cold. And the French, for example, have this technology making these components. It's a national secret. So that's just one of the use. But there are 700 uses. Your shampoo, cosmetics, paint, plastic, many, many different things.
How about the environmental benefit?
And that's why in the last 2 or 3 years, it's becoming very, very important to grow castor bean. You know, what happened in the Philippines, you know, the typhoon is very, very bad. If you read newspaper, you know, in Beijing, on the street, if you walk on the street, you can't even breathe.
Right.
So that's because the carbon from the gas and the diesel, if you use castor bean as your fuel in the car, you will clean that up. Not only will not it's not going to get worse, it's going to get better. So there is a big push, at least in the U.S. right now, and in Europe, people are trying to use more and more clean fuel. And one of the good, cheap, clean fuel to go to is castor oil.
That is from the castor bean.
That is from the castor bean.
I see. Okay. So how about how easy it is to plant castor bean?
Well, I don't want to say too easy, but you've seen it in Cambodia. Nobody planted and they still grow.
Exactly. It grows by our fence, close to our house, by itself.
If you accidentally put a seed in there, 6 months later you see a castor bean start growing up.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say it's too easy, but you know, if you don't do anything, it still grow.
I see. Does it grow on a good land that has like we grow rice or?
No, that's the benefit. When you talk about environmental impact, not only we want a clean air, but there are other concerns. For example, we want to feed the people. In 2008, United States had a program to use a lot of corn oil, start to blend corn oil with the clean fuel. Well, the problem was we eat corn. So you start burning up corn, everything becomes expensive because cattle eat corn. Pigs eat corn. We put corn in the bread. My dogs.
We eat corn too.
In the dog food. So everything became very expensive. Now, one of the good things about castor bean is it grows on very poor land. We can't eat it, so it's not going to impact the food price. We can manufacture it very inexpensively, very cheaply. And then it has good environmental benefit.
Wow. So if they want to does it hurt the farmer? Here, I'm just want to be honest with the audience. I think they're probably
Yes.
thinking, hey, I'm growing rice. The rice has a lot of benefits too. But if I switch to castor bean,
Well, and that's the good news for the farmer who growing rice.
mm-hmm,
If they're growing rice, that land cannot grow castor bean.
mm-hmm.
Okay, you can forget it. Because too much water will kill the castor bean. So if you're growing corn, you're growing cassavas, we have people now in Cambodia talking to us right now. They're growing rubber tree. They're complaining. Takes way too long to make any money. So those land is good for castor bean.
I see. So now that you mentioned about like rubber trees taking so long to make money, how about the castor bean? How long would you plant it and then get to harvest it?
Well, the first time it will take about 5 months for him to
Mhm.
harvest, and then about every 4 months. So that's very fast. You know, you put money in and rubber tree is a good business.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's bad,
Yeah.
but you put money in something and you have to wait 7 years. It's a long time. You know, a lot of changes in the 7
Yeah.
years. But in castor bean, you put it in there, 5 months, you get your money back.
Wow. In 5 months and then.
And then, every 4 months, the same tree will give you more castor beans. And you can do that for 3 to 4 years.
How hard is it to taking care of it? Do you need to be?
If you grow cassava, if you grow corn, it's less work.
Mm,
It's easier than cassava or corn.
as simple as that.
As simple as that, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about Ocean Biofuel Company. I mentioned that you are interested in going to Cambodia and looking for investors and farmers.
Yes,
So,
very much.
yeah, let's say the audience right now watching, and let's say I want to invest or I want to be involved. How could they do
Well, the easiest thing, we need two things.
it? Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you a little bit about our experience in
Sure.
Vietnam and Laos, because we're in Vietnam and we're in Laos right now, and we're very successful. So we started in Vietnam, and then we had a guy who was working for us.
Mm-hmm.
He found out about it. He says, well, you know, my family have a lot of land in Laos, and they're not using it because it's not the best land, so you're not growing a lot of rice. Can we grow castor beans? And we went there, we looked at it, we said, hey, yes, we can. But I am concentrating right now in Vietnam. I don't have the time or the money to go into Laos.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, don't worry. You use my family land, I get my family here in America, put money together, and we invest in our land. I said, well, then we can do that. Yeah, we can do that. And then they invested the money. We go buy the seed, we go buy the machine, we go buy the trucks, we'll even buy scooters so he can go around.
Go around.
And then we put it in that land. And now we have over 200 farmers in Laos signed up with us. They want to do this. So we can do something very similar in Cambodia. You know, you have family land, you have people you want to support. They're not making any money now. We send in the experts, we train them, and we get the seeds, we do the experiment, we do everything.
So basically, the farmer that are interested right now do not have to worry about the seeds because you will provide the best seed.
We'll
right?
provide the best seeds, and we'll look at the land. You know, the quality of the land. See if they need fertilizer. In most cases, they don't. See if they need any pesticide. You know, we'll take care of all that. We'll send the people who has experience, and you know, anything is never perfect. So the first 2 years in Vietnam, we had a lot of problems, but now we learn. Okay, we know how to do it in the Southeast Asia now.
I see.
Yeah.
So if they have empty land right now, they should contact you and see if
Call
they
us.
can
Yeah,
they
call
can
us.
invest with.
That's right.
Wow. So castor bean. Now, if they want to, so your company will buy all the beans if they, you know, if those farmer harvest their beans, and you will guarantee that you buy the beans.
We guarantee to buy, and if they know there are more beans someplace else, I want to buy that too.
Really?
Okay? I want to buy all the beans there is. There are some farmers right now, for example, in Cambodia, growing castor beans for somebody else, for Thai or for Vietnamese. And if they want to make more money, they can talk to us. We'll buy it too.
You will buy any castor beans.
We'll buy
right?
beans. If you have it, we'll buy it.
If I have it, you will buy it too.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so thank you so much for joining us today. Anything that you want to mention to the audience that I didn't ask?
Well, this is a good business, and I think not only we will make money, the farmer will make a lot of money. They will make certainly a lot more money than they do in cassava or corn or a lot of other business. So I invite you to join us. We can make some money together. At the same time, we were doing a lot of good for this earth and make the environment that we live in a lot better.
Thank you, George.
So please call us.
Yeah, right here too. I want to make it clear for the audience. So if they said, I want to invest, I'm here in America, do you have any program for them to kind of like?
Well, that's what I talked about, the program that we put in place. So if you have a family there, you have some land, and we'll say this is how much we need, and more or less, and you invest the land, we take that money, we go buy the beans, and we go buy the machines, and we plant it in your family. Or if it's not your direct family, you say, I want to sponsor a family in Cambodia, that's okay too.
Wow. Okay, so for Cambodian American here in America, let's say they want to help Cambodia by doing castor bean, basically they can just invest with your company and then you will take care of the farmer in Cambodia.
They invest in the land over there, in the family over there. We will reward them by giving them our stock, and we have a expert coming on in a little bit to explain how that works in the stock market. But basically they invest in the land and the family in Cambodia. We help them manage it, and then on top of that, we give them stock to thank them.
So thank you so much, George, for joining us today. It's so clear. That's what I want to make sure that our community understand how this business work, and I want them to, invest in this business also. So ចាលោកលោកស្រីអ្នកនាងកញ្ញាជាទីមេត្រីលោកអ្នកទៅបានតាមដានទស្សនាបទសម្ភាសន៍រវាងនាងខ្ញុំនិងលោក George ដែលគឺជាប្រធាននៃក្រុមហ៊ុន Ocean Biofuel ចាលោកអ្នកដូចបានស្ដាប់រួចមកហើយថាប្រសិនបើលោកអ្នកមានគម្រោងចង់ធ្វើការវិនិយោគទុនទៅលើដំណាំល្ហុងខ្វងនេះលោកអ្នកអាចតាក់ទងមកខាងក្រុមហ៊ុន Ocean Biofuel ចាក្រុមហ៊ុននឹងព្យាយាមធ្វើយ៉ាងណាឲ្យលោកអ្នកអាចដាំដំណាំល្ហុងខ្វងនេះនិងទទួលទិញនៅដំណាំល្ហុងខ្វងនេះផងដែរហើយដោយលោកអ្នកដឹងស្រាប់ហើយថាដំណាំល្ហុងខ្វងនេះគឺមានតម្លៃខ្លាំងណាស់យើងអាចប្រើប្រាស់បាននៅគ្រប់វិស័យទាំងអស់ចាដូច្នេះឥឡូវនេះយើងខ្ញុំទាំងពីរនាក់សូមពេលសម្រាប់បន្តិចសិន
Castor beans that are grown not as food. Castor beans are a bean one cannot eat. However, the oil from the castor bean is very valuable.